There you go. Hey everyone. This is actually August 12th. My first video, like, just focused on the bipolar and what I'm going through. I was doing it on my daily entry videos, which helps me keep track of a lot of stuff. As I've mentioned, I keep a journal online that helps me remember what's going on in my life. I have an awful memory. Not sure if it's due to past experiences or past effects from certain medications or drugs, but like today is Sunday, so I don't know what the heck I done last Sunday, except for clean, because I clean every Sunday. Besides that, I have no idea what I ate or what I wore or if I went anywhere. It's kind of how my memory is. It's totally shitty. Don't like it. So I keep a lot of notes on everything. I'm very tedious about this. So I was going through the videos for like the stuff I do each day, and it was actually kind of meshing into like I can't actually keep track of it if I have to watch like the whole video just to find out how I'm feeling with the bipolar for that day. So that kind of sucks. So right now, today was actually a kind of off day for me with the bipolar disorder. I'm sorry, hang on one second. Sorry, I love milk. So, I actually was in the mania phase, and again, I don't know if I've actually explained this. There's like, I forgot which one it is. There's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2, and I actually found out that there's a new one called unipolar. UNI polar. Never heard of that one before. But I found it, I think it was on WebMD or Wikipedia, one of them. So that one was kind of new. I actually have like the less life-affecting one, if that helps in any way to understand what I have. So I don't go into like full-blown mania. I have done it 2 times in the past 2 years, and that's because it was actually induced by psychiatric medication. Was the first one. I was on Zyprexa, and it, full-blown manic episode just came out of nowhere. The second one was actually, and I know I'm gonna say this wrong. The hospital put me on corticoid steroids. Can never say that word right. Which actually messed with my psychiatric medication. Because I started to like hear and see things that I know wasn't there. Like there's something wrong, and I actually took out the pamphlet, and there's like this big warning right on the back page regarding psychiatric medication. So that might be helpful to some of you that take anything like that, because actually I didn't even know that. So I had to go to the hospital. They actually tried to convince me to admit myself for like 4 days to like calm down. I'm like, no, I'll be good at home. Which actually I wish I would have went to the hospital during that one, because that was really bad. Along with the Zyprexa episode. So back to today. I was actually I've been in my mania phase for about the past. This is like the longest one I've been in, and it's like it was close to 2 weeks long. I'm sorry, but my skin is peeling. So I was actually in the mania phase for about 2 weeks, which again is about the longest one that I've been in, like, ever. And it's not like I get like completely manic the whole time. I kind of like, I start off depressed, and it's like mania, then I kind of peak, and then I come back down. So one of my big issues with being bipolar is the anger. Don't know if anybody out there has anger issues along with their bipolar. Which really was not an issue in the past. think it is actually influenced by the grief that I'm feeling. I did get my daughter up for adoption, actually just a few months ago. So I'm dealing with that, and family issues, and other stuff, and health issues too, because I have no health insurance. So it's like things are just coming at me from all four corners, and I'm trying to keep myself sane. I really am. But when I first start to slide into mania, I'm kind of like depressed, and then I kind of get like depressed, agitated, and twitchy type feeling. That's like the best way to describe it. My thought process does actually pick up somewhat. I feel more like I can think clearer type feeling. And about that time is like when I hit the mania phase. And when I go into a manic episode, I get, I don't go into like full blown mania to where like I can like blow a whole bunch of money or talk to complete strangers for no reason or go out and sleep with like 10 other people that I have no idea who they are. I have actually learned to somewhat not control it, but I've learned to discipline myself is a proper way of saying it, which took a very long time. So right now my mania is more like I feel more alert, a bit more talkative, but not to the point it's not like where I talk and I can't shut up. It's just like I feel more comfortable talking to people. I actually have social anxiety disorder on top of the bipolar, which is going to be a separate video log also. So when I'm not in my manic phase, I'm like shy and kind of quiet, meek person. And when I'm in my mania phase, I'm still kind of nervous talking to people, but I'm actually able to talk with more ease. I don't freak out or get nervous if somebody comes up and says hi. I'm like, oh crap, what do I say? I just say hi back to them. So it's actually not full-blown mania. I've never had a full-blown episode on my own, as I mentioned in the beginning of this. It's always been induced by meds, which has been 2 times in the past 2 years. So right now I'm actually coming down from the mania phase, and I'm slipping into the depressive phase, which kind of sucks. Don't know if, well, if you watch my videos, you kind of know what's going on. I did give my kid up for adoption just because certain circumstances were more healthier for her to stay where she was. Which of course the foster parents adopted her, which was awesome at first, but now they're like not talking to me. So not gonna dwell on that. I don't want to get my head stuck in that gutter right now. But and I just did. Oh, I am so sorry, guys. So I'm actually starting to head into the depressive phase, which of course my therapist, my psychiatrist, and everybody on my team is concerned that because of the extra grief and the family issues and the financial problems and the marital problems, that I'm going to totally bottom out. Which I'm hoping doesn't happen. But I do have bags ready. Not ready, but I found bags and actually put like some small necessities in them. So in case I have to go to the hospital, I can just toss in my clothes and just say, hey, I want to check in until I feel better, and just stay there as long as needed. Instead of trying to rush it. That'd be the best thing to do. So that kind of sucks that I actually have to kind of prepare my mind for what might happen. I don't think my husband's aware of how bad it might get. I'm pretty sure his nephew has no effing clue, because he is so... Did I just say my nephew? It's his nephew, I'm sorry. I don't think his nephew knows either. because he said, well, he's young, so he's in his own little world where he thinks he is, you know, king of the mountain type person. So I'm definitely heading into the depressive phase. I have noticed over the past couple of days I've been kind of like slowly getting more mellow, and I'm like, no, 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 I don't want to get mellow. Oh, and that's Chloe, if you guys can see her. And no, don't mind the messy room. I don't pay attention to it that well. But that's my calico. So yeah, I got like 2 or 3 cats around this house. So I am slipping into a depressive phase. The messed up thing is that I don't know if anybody else is like this. I'm not actually sexually intrigued during mania. I used to be, but I actually, you know, kind of learned how to not be that way. It took a lot of practice. But I have noticed over the past couple years that I actually incorporate sex into the stage of mania to depression for some reason. So I'm not sure if it's because I'm trying to keep those happy chemicals inside my brain up, so I'm having more sex as I go into depression, or what's going on. I did talk about it with my therapist, and she's like, you know, honey, I have no clue. She could take a guess at it, but a guess is not what I want to hear. Which I have mentioned to like all my doctors that see, don't guess. If you can't find an answer, just tell me you don't know, instead of trying to guess. Also, I will mention, since this is my first actual bipolar video, that I actually came off my Topamax about 2 months ago. The Topamax actually made me hostile, which is a nightmare. Before that, I was on Depakote, which made me lose like my hair is thick compared to what it used to be. It was like half of this. That's how much hair I lost, and I gained a lot of weight. And my psychiatrist did not actually want to up the Depakote just because I would actually go over 300 pounds. I'm not going to tell you what I weigh, but that kind of gives you a guess right there that it's not a healthy weight. Before that, I was on Geodon, which I was actually hospitalized for June of 2011, because of the mood issues again, anger, hostility, couldn't explain what the heck was going on. And they put me on Depakote, which worked at first, and then I just started gaining weight. And with the Depakote, from what I know, you're supposed to reach a plateau, and like I never plateaued. I just kept on gaining weight. Just could not stop, and I gained water like everywhere. My feet were swollen, face, hands, whole body would just like blow up like a lump. So I actually do have a separate video on here regarding psychiatric medications, and it lists most of the ones I've been on. I know I missed a few. I'm not perfect, but I have tried a lot of antidepressants. I've tried the SSRIs, the SNRIs, the SARIs. I've tried the TCAs, which is the tricyclics. I've tried the TECAs, which are the tetratricyclics. I've tried agonist and antagonist. For those, I tried the Seroquel and the Abilify. And I've tried antipsychotics and mood stabilizers at the wazoo over the past 2 years. Just back to back to back, basically. And every mood stabilizer they stick me on just makes me hostile, so they don't know what's going on. Usually somebody with bipolar, actually, it's, you know, you're supposed to find one that works. And I have tried like all of them, even the ones that aren't classified for bipolar, but they can be used for it. I've even tried those. So I think my last option is like, I have two options left, which is lithium, and there's another one that I can't even pronounce. And they don't want to do the lithium, mainly because I was a drug addict and a alcoholic about 11-12 years ago, and that would like actually affect my kidneys or liver. I forgot which one it is, and it's a little scary. You don't want to actually tempt fate with the prescriptions you take, considering my physical health. So they're kind of at a limit themselves, which really sucks. Yeah. So right now I'm taking trazodone, which is 200 by time. It's like mainly a sleep aid mixed with a little anxiety help and depressive help also. I know they call it a hypnotic type drug, but it's not like it's going to hypnotize you. It just like helps with the anxiety issues that you have, which nothing seems to work with the anxiety half the time. And that was my kitty cat. So I'm on that right now. I'm also on 2 milligrams of Klonopin 3 times a day, which helps with the anxiety for the most part, except if I have too many triggers. You know, you cannot control your triggers. There are some that I can get away from that will actually set me off, and then there's some that I have no way of getting away from at all. I'm stuck with them. So yeah, so right now, at this moment, with my beautiful bipolar, I feel a bit exhausted, feel kind of tired. I feel a bit depressed, more down than usual. I'm thinking negative a lot. Well, not a lot. I would say that my negative thinking has actually increased over the past couple days, like 20-30%, which is bad. On top of my low self-esteem, negative thinking just makes everything worse. You think that people are doing things when they're really not, or you think the worst about somebody when like that's really not happening. So that's kind of where my head's at right now. And I'm sorry if there's too much background noise with this TV and the fan, but I apologize. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I did have one trigger today, which was my husband. I did mention that in my daily thing today. Just that he planned, to do something special, just the two of us. And we were supposed to do it Friday, today's Sunday, and he was like not even home. Which is another thing that's actually affecting my bipolar. Is he's always out with a friend or 2 friends or doing something for somebody else. And on any given day during the week or the weekend, I usually spend like contact time, like talking or touching, like that kind of time, between like an hour to 4 hours max if I'm lucky. When he's not out doing stuff for other people, he's like sleeping or he just wants to have sex. He's, the typical male. So I'm sorry, I need to switch my leg. Oh, I got a bad knee. Ow. Sorry, guys. So, I am kind of in the depressive phase. I can feel it coming on, which I'm a little bit concerned about. I'm sorry. Just because if it gets like really bad, I have to go back to the psychiatric ward, and it's going to be a long stint. Just because I've tried so many medications and like they just have not worked for me. So again, my psychiatrist, he even said that he doesn't know what to give me, and I just saw him last week. Yeah. So he said that he wanted to stick with the Klonopin and the trazodone for the next 3 months and see how I do, which was kind of pushing it. But honestly, he had no other options except for lithium, which again I mentioned he's concerned about because it affects multiple organs inside your body, and I've had a couple of years of self-destruction built up inside, so my organs are not exactly the healthiest. So that, and I weighed myself last week, I think, and I think I'm like down to like 278, 280. I know it sounds big, but I was like close to 300. So that's kind of an improvement, but again, that's just because I stopped taking the medication, the Topamax, which actually put weight on me, which he said wouldn't. So I don't know if you know much about my videos. I'm trying to keep them separate now, as I just mentioned. And what I have found out with mainly all prescriptions is like I am the oddball that all doctors are fascinated by. Any pill I take, I usually get the worst side effects. Like the things that like nobody gets, I get them. So I've had a lot of doctors do tests and do this test, take more blood. And I just finally had to say stop because there's no answer for it. It's just that my body reacts badly to just about everything I've taken, except for the trazodone, which is in a class all by itself. Totally mind-boggling. And of course the Klonopin, which eventually I want to get off of. It is actually habit forming, because it is a benzo. It is actually considered a narcotic, which is not good. You do build up a tolerance to it, and I've been on it for, dear goodness gracious, since my early 20s, and they just now upped it to 2 milligrams 3 times a day. And I was taking like 1 milligram like 2 or 3 times a day. So that's how bad my anxiety's actually gotten. But again, that's induced with the grief and family issues and marital problems and stuff like that. So so as for today, I mentioned I'm feeling a bit depressed, which you're on. I feel like I'm exhausted. I know I'm not exhausted, but my body just feels like it's been sucked dry. So I'm definitely coming off my mania, which is not the best thing. I hate transitioning down from the mania because it's just more harder to cope with compared to transitioning from the depression to the mania. That's a bit more, to me, it's more easier to control, because I'm more used to it and I can adjust a lot faster to it compared to going from the mania to the depression, which is like where you just get stuck in a rut. And me personally, I can't get out of those ruts sometimes, and I just get so freaking depressed that I just I want to stay in the house. I stop talking to my family. I don't want to get up in the morning. I skip doctor's appointments. I don't want to eat. I just basically turn into a blob with brown hair. Which over the past 2 years is pretty much how it has been. With the situation with my daughter, and I finally decided, I can't keep on trying to do this, and I can't keep on talking about it either because I will cry right now. But I did make the right decision. I know it kind of sucks. Some people really don't want to hear that. But she has a lot more opportunities that I cannot give her right now. Better house, better school, better friends. She will not be picked on as much. It's not a public school, if that helps you understand what type of environment she's in. It's more calming, more therapeutic for her, actually. So, and plus they're more financially well off, which kind of played a little bit of a role in it. I think I actually nailed my last decisions on it based on the fact that I live in a crappy neighborhood. I don't know if anybody knows about Westwood, Ohio. Do not move to Westwood. Yeah, it is ridiculous. Just the people, they air out all their stuff in public, just in the street, screaming at each other or shooting off guns. And that is stressful by itself. So that by itself is also it's affecting me very badly. I have noticed in the past couple months. Yeah, also, the main decision that I did to actually give her up for adoption, which actually was kind of tough to do, was we had like 2 years to fix up the house I'm staying in now. And we actually had some lady come out to like inspect the house type thing, and she gave us these light bulbs, the swirly ones that are just supposed to save on your bill. And this guy called back to actually come out to the house to see what they could actually fix, since like we need drywall in the kitchen because there is none, drywall in the stairwells, on both stairwells, that kind of stuff. And yeah, they would not let me back home with the way it looks ever. And that was actually on my husband's part. He never called him back. So to me that was kind of like a big flashing sign, like, okay, he's not doing nothing to get her back, and I can't get I cannot get a place of my own right now. So I didn't have much of a choice. I could have got it back without a doubt if everything would have been in its proper place, which it was not. But I'm not going to dwell on that too much longer because it is kind of depressing to talk about. And I feel kind of dizzy. But, I don't know if anybody is actually in Ohio, because I'm trying to get my husband to go, and he's a chicken shit. I'm sorry for cursing. If you don't like it, just don't watch my videos. I do curse from time to time, especially during my mania phase. I will just F the whole way through it. But I think this is across the whole country. I'm not really sure. It's called NAMI, if you guys can see that. And as you can see, I live in Hamilton County, Ohio. And they actually provide kind of like education classes and I want to call them seminars. That's probably not what they're called. But it's for people with mental illness. You also have sessions for like the whole family, which I think is like I think it's 12 weeks long, which is like 3 months, and it actually involves the whole family. So bit of a problem if you don't have the whole family there with you. And of course then they have some stuff for people who actually have problems, who want to learn more about it and what to do with it, which I will probably be attending one of those as soon as I can, considering that my anger is getting out of control. During this manic cycle, I actually was like having full-blown blackout rage, screaming, trying to break stuff, those kind of things. And I do get angry during the mania phase, but not full-blown rage where I'm just like, wow. So anyways, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I don't think it's like actual full-blown depression kicking in. I think it's just because of this weekend. I didn't get to spend much time with my husband again, which is depressing as hell. So it's kind of like I'm married to myself. And again today, I think the total amount of time that we actually had contact, talking or touching, was like maybe an hour, hour and a half out of the whole freaking day, people. Um, which is not good for bipolar. And the fact that I have social anxiety disorder, I am scared to make friends, and I'm in my 30s, so I'm not gonna try to veer off too far. But that does play a big part of the bipolar issue. Like if you don't have your support system with you. I mean, I do have my family, but they're like, I'm in like the middle-ish, and then I got my mom's like on the East Coast and West Coast, so they're like not even close. Um, my support system right now is my therapist, my psychiatrist, who I see like every 2 to 3 months, and soon to be my anger management counselor and group meetings. Also starting a class for depression also. See how that works out, which is through Icron. So again, if you're in Cincinnati, this place seems actually pretty cool. They have a lot of group meetings for anger, depression. They got a class for men, class for women. I know they got like 3 or 4 different ones, but I really wasn't focused on those. They do actually have educational training and job placement help also, which is awesome. But I'm not trying to focus on work. I'm trying to focus on the anger and the depression right now. That's kind of where I'm at. Because after I came off the Topamax, I had 2 cycles like back to back. So, usually I will have like maybe like 4 to 5 mania episodes in a whole year. And within the past 2 months, I've had 2. So I'm like rapid cycling out the wazoo. My psychiatrist has no idea what to do about it. They tried, I mean, he's tried so many medications, and I've been on so many, and none of them have worked. And again, as I've mentioned, all the mood stabilizers for bipolar actually make me hostile and angry, which is a complete conundrum if you think about it. So he's thinking, are you sure that you were... He's concerned that my therapist might have actually diagnosed me with something that I don't have. I know I've talked to a few people about it, and some people think that I might have... I think it's called clinical depression or like severe depression, where like I'm repressed like most of the time, and then when I'm normal I seem manic, but like I'm really not. I'm just like me being me type thing, which would actually... It's kind of weird because all my symptoms fit into severe depression, bipolar, and at sometimes it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain this, but there's on one end there's bipolar, then on the other there's like schizophrenia, which is like a thin line between those two. They kind of mesh together. And then of course in the middle is the schizoaffective disorder. Yeah, so this is going to be fun. Oh, also, I don't know if I mentioned this, since I am going to Talbot House, because they actually joined with Centerpoint, which is the place I was going to. I will be seeing a therapist at Talbot House and also at Icron, which is mainly just to see how I'm doing in the classes, my triggers, what's causing them, and if I lash out in class. Of course, I have to be escorted out. I'm sure not by toothpick men. So that's where the therapy comes in, to find out what set me off. And I would probably do that for a month and see how that works. And if it doesn't work, again, I'm going to take a trip to the hospital. So this is supposed to be a short video, which is kind of short. Okay. So I will do it tomorrow, hopefully during the day. My knee is totally shot to shit right now. I cannot feel from my knee down on my left leg. So I'm not sure exactly how much I'll be doing tomorrow. That kind of sucks, right? I know. But anyways, right now my mind state is depressed, exhausted. I feel hurt, betrayed, that kind of stuff. Lonesome, lonely, anxious, a little bit depressed. I actually did not eat that much today. I will mention that. I did have, let me see, I had a bowl of cereal for breakfast. Then I had this taco wrap thing from Taco Bell. About 3 hours later, like around 2 o'clock, then I didn't eat again till like around, well, 10:50. Well, actually, like 10 past 11, because True Blood was on. It's weird how I actually associate things. So the fact that I'm not eating is kind of a sign like, holy crap, I'm slipping into this depressive phase again. And it's really hard to keep track of my moods and the bipolar and the depression and the anxiety, and trying not to be triggered by my husband or my therapist or my family or my psychiatrist or his nephew or my daughter and her adoptive family, because all of them affect me in different aspects, and all of them pull completely different strings in different ways. So I have way too many triggers going on. I think that's one of the reasons why my therapist asked me to go to the hospital, was just so that I could go there and like not have any triggers, except for of course the nurses and doctors telling you what to do all day, and of course the risk of being in the quiet room. So that I could actually, calm down and think for a second and try to piece shit together and hopefully find the right medication. But we started talking about that, and then we're like, yeah, it might work for like that week or 2 or 3, but then when I come back out and I'm back in the same setting and I'm in the same situations with the same triggers, it's really not going to make any progress at all. So I've actually talked to my family about this, my therapist about this, like what's the next step? Should I stay in this type of environment? Should I leave this type of environment? Should I find a place of my own? Would that be better? Would it be worse? And the messed up part is that I don't even have the answers for this. I am so stressed out by all these triggers and panic attacks that I actually have to breathe into a bag half the time now. And I'm terrified because of my knees, they're going out, and it's been that way for so long because of this freaking car accident. And it's too much to take in sometimes. So I have a lot going on, and it is very overwhelming. And with bipolar, it totally sucks, because I am starting to rapid cycle, which I didn't want to do. I was hoping I wouldn't do it. At least it's not full-blown mania. Like I said, I do not go into full-blown mania ever unless it's induced by medication. I will not say never, I just jinxed myself. There is always the possibility of it happening, especially with all the stress that's going on. Definitely a chance of me just being calm one day and then the next I'm like freaking psychoed. So yeah, it is kind of tedious. I keep a journal, I keep my vlogs, I try to keep track of what I'm eating, which is kind of hard sometimes. I do try to put around the house, do laundry, cleaning and stuff like that, which I've pretty much given up on. Um, just because it's disrespectful. I live with two men, or as my family would say, two man-childs. They haven't completely grown up. And, yeah, it would be a lot easier to clean on Sundays, which is today, if I didn't have to spend like half the time just going through their crap that's all over the freaking house. It's easier because I do it every day. I try to pick up my messes as I go. So come Sunday, I don't fucking have a mess to pick up. But come Sunday, I have to pick up after my husband because his clothes are upstairs, downstairs, in the bathroom, everything else. Same thing with his nephew. They're in a pile in this room or a pile in that room, and there's food all over the kitchen. So he's the one that tears up the kitchen, and my husband just leaves his shit everywhere. So does his nephew. So it is like having two kids, but it's right now in my state of mind, it's to the point to where I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I'm finished. I just want out. And I've been that way for about the past couple days, which is a big sign. Like, hello, you're coming off your mania. Oh, which reminds me, since I'm starting a bipolar channel just for the way I'm feeling, I do keep a happy box. The box itself is a big thing for me. I've actually been in a few domestic violence relationships. And I'm freaking out right now because I usually don't talk about all this at once. So this is kind of like full-on interface therapy for me because I'm in my face. But this one guy that I stayed with, every time he done something bad, he would always bring me flowers. I mean, every type of flower that you could think of, I have pretty much had at one point in my life. Which sucks. Because, you know, you're supposed to get flowers for a good reason, not a bad reason. And it's been years since I actually been with this person or seen this person. And I'm actually beginning to get to the point to where now I can see a flower and be like, oh my god, this smells so good, I want to take one home. Whereas before I'd be like, oh my god, let's just totally not even go buy the flowers. Let's just like skip that side of the store. Let's just not even look at them. And like now I catch myself like stopping and just like looking at them like, oh my god, I remember having these when I was a kid, or in the flower beds at my houses and stuff like this. And so that's kind of what the flower is about. Is because I actually overcame something which I thought I would never be able to do. So my little happy box. And I'm sorry, but I got a USB sticky thing in here too. But the box is for my happy thoughts, which I started on August the 1st. And each night I actually stick on a happy thought. So if I feel like too down or depressed, I just open it and like I go through them. And it kind of picks me up for like an hour or two. Not the whole day, just a short kick of endorphins just to make me feel happy for a little bit. I do believe that my happy thought for today was going to Disneyland in Florida. I hope I'm getting this right because I kind of get them confused with Disney World and Disneyland between the two states. But I was actually scared of the haunted house. I know, it's like the cheesiest ride they have, and it's not even scary till like the end where like your face turns into a ghost or a skull. And I was terrified to go on this ride. And my family picked on me relentlessly about this ride. Like, I just would not go. I remember the last time I went, I actually sat outside on the bench with all the grandparents. I just would not go in. So that is actually a very happy memory. In a way, you would think it's bad, but then it's not, because my family actually, the last time I went, they actually knew, okay, she can't go on this, so we kind of have to work with her. So it was amazing that, you know, like, my family could see things happen before I could. And they're like, you know what, just go over here and just sit over here, Serena, you'll be fine. Oh, so you guys know my name now. Crap. So I love my family for that, because they could actually see things happen before they actually came true. Or came to fruition. I'm sorry, not true. So that was cool. So besides that, I think I will get off because I actually need to take a shower. I'm thinking if I get a bath, I'm not getting out because my legs are not going to work. So I hope this was a little bit helpful. My next few videos should be shorter. I know this one is a bit longer than I had expected, but it's the first one, so I'm trying to give you like a rough idea of how things work in my head with bipolar. Especially since I'm not medicated, it kind of scares the crap out of me. Because I know what I'm capable of, and I know I can really hurt people. And there's 2 men in the house that are triggers, and I'm like, holy crap, like, what if I black out one day and just go total apeshit? And, you know, people just don't see me as doing that. And it's, yeah. People would be surprised. I mean, honestly, I know my friends were surprised. I was actually in a mania phase one time. I'm gonna do a short example of how bad I can get. And I was actually hopping from like bar to bar for like a whole weekend, I think it was. So it's like nonstop, every freaking night, bar hopping. So I think it was the 3rd night. Actually, it was during a Christmas season, which is like pretty, you know, I love it. The lights, you're drunk, they look pretty. And for some reason, we all decided to like hop up and try to take down these Christmas lights hanging on this frickin' bar, which made no sense at all, but of course you're drunk, you know, who cares? And the bar was closed, of course, but you know, you don't actually think like, holy crap, there's still somebody in there actually fixing up the place for tomorrow. So we're tearing down these lights, and this guy comes flying out the front door, just screaming at us, cursing at us. And I got these like 6-inch freaking high heels on, man. Could not run for shit, right? So of course he caught my fucking ass like a freaking dump. Not gonna go there. I cannot run in heels, especially 6 inches. Not gonna happen. So he actually caught me in the middle of a parking lot, like right by the train station. And my mania phase, when he grabbed me, I actually had a flashback of something that happened in the past. Not gonna talk about the flashback because then I'm gonna have a completely shitty night. But I actually took off they were these pink sparkly heels. I was like in pink and black for some reason, like pink heels. Then I had black sheer pants with a pink tank top and a black sheer shirt with like pink and black stripes going through my hair. That's just how I was back in the day. Don't judge, please. And I actually took the shoe off and I just started to whack him in the freaking face with this freaking 6-inch heel. So yeah, I found out about it about 2 weeks later. So I was like, holy crap, what the fuck happened? And I was actually with 3 other girlfriends, and like they would not talk to me for like almost a week. They just completely ignored me. I could not figure out why. Like nobody told me what the hell happened, and I didn't know what the fuck I done. Until like I go back to the bar because they got the special going on for New Year's Eve. So yeah, and I wasn't allowed to go in. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Of course I can go in. And the guy that actually grabbed me, when I saw him, I recognized his fucking eyes because it's this like greenish bluish color, just like freaking awesome. But then I saw his face, and I'm like, I just like froze. I'm like, there's no fucking way. And I was like not allowed to go back to that bar. I think they banned me from it for like 3 to 4 months. I was like just not allowed to even be near that guy. He amazingly did not press charges. I do not understand why he did not press charges. Because he had, I mean, seriously, I fucked up his face for life. Which is not the first time I've done that to someone. And he did not press charges. I was amazed. But then after that, that's when I met the asshole that was a domestic prick. So, with that being said, I'm not going to babble on. It is kind of late for me over here. Right now it's like 12:54, so it's kind of like 1 o'clock. And I took my Klonopin, and it's not working because I had too many triggers today. So, I will definitely do a bipolar tomorrow regarding the medications I've taken. I will try to find all the ones I've taken, which is like really hard. I try to keep track of all the paperwork, and I kind of lose track of some of it. But hopefully I'll be able to tell you the stuff I've taken and the stuff that hasn't worked. And again, it's just from my experience. It's not going to happen to you. It's just that I always get the worst symptoms. I can't take aspirin because it fucks with my heart, which is the complete opposite. I cannot take Tylenol because I have palpitations in my heart. I cannot take freaking Benadryl because it gives me hives. And it's supposed to stop hives. So I'm like the complete opposite of everything. So I'm just a big bucket of joy when it comes to trying out medication. So anyways, again, if you got some questions, I love the inbox, which is freaking awesome. You guys are leaving a lot of stuff. It's kind of cool. So I hope this helps. I will get more detailed as I go, especially with the depressive phase, because that's my main problem. That and the peak of mania is the worst. Besides that, it's pretty much, well, not saying manageable, but I can understand what's happening and cope with the emotions without actually reacting to them in a negative way. That's the best way to describe it. So as for that, I hope this helps some people kind of understand that you're not the only person out there that feels like you're losing your freaking mind when you're really not. Because I feel that way today. I feel like I'm slipping so fast right now, and I know I'm not. So I'm just trying to stay calm, and I'm trying to think about happy thoughts. I know I sound retarded, but happy thoughts work. I talk to myself in the mirror sometimes also. Do not laugh, but it does work. I actually psych myself out sometimes. Like, you know what? You're beautiful. You're going to have a good day. Nothing bad's going to happen. And I say it like 10 or 15 times. But of course, I say it quietly so no one else in the house can hear it. And I say about 75% of the time it fucking works. I'm like, god damn. So it's actually not a stupid thing to do. It is pretty cool. So yeah, just a little tidbit there. So I hope you guys have a great night or morning on my end, or wherever you're from. So thanks for watching. Bye.